So I'm Jim Hurlburt, and I got to speak at the first Kinection Hour, and have my own company, which is Fireside Consulting and Law, and I do some other things as well. But excited to talk about this again. Brent mentioned this on Friday. We need just to keep talking about ChatGPT and AI. I actually last night watched a 60 Minutes on, I don't know, maybe some of you saw it, and it's the conversation with the head of Google, and then they had someone from Microsoft. And what is kind of disturbing in all of those comments from the highest level is you'll hear this statement, and we're just not sure yet where it's going. And I'll show you a little a slide that indicates maybe where this thing called the singularity can happen, and there's a projection of 2030. And but before I jump into all this, I think I want to just go ahead and say what we said the last time, that technology, it giveth and it taketh away. And my personal conviction is God is bringing technology to bear in this thing called artificial intelligence. I think we need to figure out how to use it wisely. I think that there's a lot of views that can say, hey, it diminishes us as humans. I have a different take that says I think it expands possibilities. And with any other technology, we have to learn how to use it wisely. And so that's my overall philosophical approach. The picture is kind of interesting. All right, so these are just a couple of things you guys already know. I kind of mentioned them last time. Sometimes people don't know ChatGPT. It's from OpenAI. It's just another technology. It's generative artificial intelligence. It's a language, and part of what's making it great is you can talk to it. It can talk back to you. I will show a quick overview if I don't talk too much. I think we want to see the overview again. You can ask it countless questions, and you will often get an answer that's useful, but not always. Part of what is really coming out right now is it has got lots of misinformation. It's not, I don't think it's intentional right now, and they're correcting it. Even the version of ChatGPT that I have right now, is you can go to the 4.0, and it's improving on all that. But right now, buyer beware. Just a little bit of, I mentioned this last time, but here's a slide. How long did it take ChatGPT to get to 1 million users? You can see Netflix, 3.5 years. Here's Twitter at 2, Facebook at 10 months. It took ChatGPT 5 days to get to 1 million. It's made it to 100 million in 2 months. Now, I said we got to strap on the belt. Why now? Where is it going? There's two things that are coming together right now. For the last 30 years, we have been collecting through all of our internet repositories the entire wealth of human history. Everything is online. A weakness of ChatGPT is it will tell you it's only up to November of 2022. A competitor, Bing, it's taking like everything that happened yesterday, up to yesterday. But you've got all of human history is now online, and then the second piece of it is you've got this massive computing power. These two things have come together in the last couple of years. And if you watched the 60 Minutes last night, you would have seen the massive number of facilities across the world. Our world physically is a neural link, and now you've got all this data, all the data that's ever been, and it can now be processed at 100,000 times faster than any one of us can do. It's super powerful. So where is this going? Well, this organization, the Future Work Institute, by 2030, the singularity will arrive. So this is what it is. When we will multiply our effective intelligence 1 billion-fold by merging with the intelligence we've created. And I don't really know how else to expound on that, except, did we talk about putting the seatbelt on? We're about to go on a ride. And this is, I think, November of 2022, so what, 5 months ago now? That's going to be the first, I think we may probably look back and go, that's the major inflection point, and a new moment is here. And I love that Brent's wanting to talk about it, because I think we all need to know what's going on. This is actually very critical for us. And it's a little disturbing. This is one of the images you see. And when I see it, I just did this to it. Whoops. So there's disturbing aspects to it. But again, my personal conviction is there's a sovereign God who is wanting this to come out now, right? All right, so here's one of the reasons why it's a big deal, and it's a big deal right now. This is a graph that you'll see the ChatGPT up here. What this slide does, in essence, in its x-axis, it's telling you the number of times a certain topic has been covered. And this is what CEOs are talking about, and it is all the data is a comparison of what they were talking about last quarter compared to what they're talking about this quarter. So the x-axis is telling you everything that is talked about the most. The farther out you come this way, this is what they're talking about the most. So between last quarter and this quarter, it's still mostly around economic uncertainty, right? The y-axis is telling you what is going up in importance, last quarter to this quarter. And this is where you see now ChatGPT. Compared to last quarter, it is now off the charts. So why is this significant? Well, what the CEOs, and by the way, this is like 3,200 of the largest companies in North America, and I don't know, I can't remember if it was in Europe as well. I'm going to guess it probably was. This is a lot of data. And this tells us Brent is onto something, because the CEOs are all talking about it. This is huge. And what we know now is that this is going to, what they're saying, hey, this is important, they're going to start investing in, and this starts the engine on rolling out AI. What's that? 4 minutes. Okay, move quick. Just to put it in context, the amount of money we spent last year, $87 billion. The projection is $119 billion. By 2030, you're at $1.6 trillion. So part of this is always, these are projections of how important this is going to become, where we're going to be spending our money.
Did AI do that projection?
AI did not do that projection.
Oh, okay.
Here are the major industries impacted. It's education, information technology, business intelligence, supply chain, construction, retail, cybersecurity, healthcare, manufacturing. I think the major impacts are going to be if you're a knowledge worker, which almost all of us are knowledge workers, your world is going to be disrupted or can be disrupted. And so we'll have to consider that. All right. And I'm going to just make this because I want to show you just a couple of things. We're at this major inflection point. In 10 years, I think work and life is going to be different. And do a little bit of research and you'll see all the different ways it's going to happen. I think this is going to be key. The old literacy question was reading and writing. The new literacy is learning, unlearning, relearning. AI is going to be making this, we're going to be forced into it, most likely. Something will erode, something will be disrupted in how you're doing your job. The pros, it's crazy the amount of problems it's solving. In the medical world, it's incredible what's happening. As I started looking at this more, it can become your super assistant. It's going to be able to help our kids think about priorities, help us think about priorities. It's going to help us problem solve. It's going to be this super powerful virtual assistant that you can use to help you. The cons are the deep fakes. Get ready for this 2024 election cycle. The deep fakes are crazy. It's going to be massively disruptive. Something crazy I think could happen. And then the emergent properties, some AI is gaining skills they weren't expecting. And I'll let y'all go. I've seen a couple of those now. That's that seatbelt, right? Main point, adapt. And okay, so here's our test drive. I'm going to see if I can do a quick test drive here. I can do it. So I just don't want to get in front of people here. Okay, this is going to be write an email for a CEO. I've not tried this yet, but here's the prompt. Write an email for a CEO to a senior team that asks for a meeting for his team to discuss the pros and cons. It should have said of AI. Giving each person only 5 minutes to present. They won't survive the connection hour. Well, it did it so fast. You could rewrite this as if Shakespeare wrote it.
Perfect. Iambic pentameter and everything. Hark attend thee, noble senior team. It is with great pleasure that I write to thee.
Right? And you can just, whatever you're needing to do, you can shift this thing. You can slice it a variety of ways. You can turn this into a 3-day seminar if that's something that you're needing to do. Let me show you another one I think is interesting.
Doing all my emails this week in Shakespeare.
Yeah. So make a 3-point summary of the New Testament that can be delivered in 4 minutes.
Nice.
Part of what and so one thing that's happening here is it's pulling from what's already been written out there. So you might imagine a lot of what's been written on it is majority good, and it actually brings that tone and tenor with it. So when you actually read some of this, it's quite beautiful. And it's that portion that makes people sit back and go, is this another type of intelligence? And the careful answer here is it is not a sentient being. And right now there is not really any conviction that it is going to be sentient. It's learning from sentient beings, right? And so therefore it mimics. It sounds like us. But because it sounds like us, it unnerves us, right? So do I have time for one more? Or am I out of time?
One more.
Provide a 200-word outline of the military strategies of both sides of the Alamo. I wanted it to do Fiesta, but I'm not versed enough on it. Maybe I should have done it that way. Now, and I won't go any farther, what you could do with that is you could say, give me 5 sites to support these positions, and it will provide those sites for you. It will also, most likely, those sites, it might manufacture those sites. So it is a buyer beware. But right now, it is at a crazy powerful level, and that's a good overview. Adapt. Be open would be my suggestion, and cautious. And thank you for your time.